Hello, my name is Mindy, and today I want to talk about ENTPs and how an ENFP sees ENTPs. And sometimes some people say like, yeah, there are some similarities, and even I've seen within the community, MBTI community, that some people is confused if they're ENFPs or ENTPs. So I want to talk about all of that. So let's dive in. First of all, I think we can be somehow very alike, although I think, yeah, we're very, very different, but I can see some good similarities that can make us think sometimes that we are meeting another fellow ENFP. For instance, first, most important reason is that they are NE dominants as well. So we have the same sort of explorative mind that is very playful, that is always open to new ideas and possibilities, and that is very open-minded. And that feels like such a sort of relief for us ENFPs when we come across someone who is like that dominant, intuitive and extrovert intuitive. So it's like you can just think along that person, and that's very nice. So actually, this makes me think of a very good friend of mine who's an ENTP, with whom I spent some times during my holidays in February. And yeah, we have some nice philosophical conversations, and we have some similar likes, hobbies. We like reading a lot about spirituality, love attraction, that kind of subjects. So it's like so refreshing that he is so playful. Like he will come and say like, what if this would be, I don't know, this reality is not real, and then you have like we are living parallel and like in 5 other dimensions, and what if one of these person in one of these 5 dimensions comes and meets you up, and he just blows his mind. And for us ENFPs, that's so like, oh my god, I love this. I just love how creative this person is and comes up with all of these kind of ideas. And that's something very NE, I have to say. And I have another friend who is an ESTJ, and she doesn't value that kind of approach and conversation that two dominants and E can have, because it's like so tiring. And she's like, why do you guys need to talk about things that are not real? I was like, oh yeah, sure, you're a censor. I didn't say it, but okay. So that's the first function that does feels like almost coming home for us ENFPs. But second function, then we have TE, so that's a different one. And I think here is where sometimes the clashes come with them. I think that because the TI, it's like TI just works the same way, in my opinion, with most of the personalities that are dominant or auxiliary TI. And that's like as I said before in other videos, they kind of are trying to compare concepts to debate things. So they compare, okay, this idea I have, and they kind of come and introduce it to you in a sort of way that's a kind of sort of debate like, because they want to push your buttons and they want to push you to say some new information that will enrich them. That's how TI works in a sort of like conversation environment. But this is a lot about like how their mind works. And I think these, being their auxiliary function, makes them kind of, the word would be unsettled. They don't have any rest in their minds. I think I would say ENTPs next to INTPs are restless with their minds. Imagine someone who is like NE, like I am, like ENFPs are, and has a lot of ideas, a lot of information. He's brainstorming, and then the next function they can use to better sort the thing out is another super open function, such as TI. So my question always is like, how do ENTPs are going to always filter down and come up with a decision if they seem to be always just exploring and finding out more and more and more? I mean, it's not that I'm complaining. No, I mean, that's how they are. But it seems like, okay, this combination, these two things, makes ENTPs, in my opinion, the parasite clash is like they kind of they're kind of fighting sometimes with the other person, or at least, again, maybe that's just my perception because I'm an introvert feeler as well, so that's my second function. And as a feeler, for me, like, I can take things too personal, and when someone is like this eager to debate on ideas the way they do, it can sound to me like they are fighting, kind of. But I think it's kind of lighter in ENTPs than in INTPs. But yeah, there is some friction. I have to say there is some friction with ENTPs, with all of the ENTPs I know. It's like they kind of always want to win. I think it's because of this restlessness they have between these first two functions. It's like they're trying to find the truth, but at the same time they have this fear of never being able to actually come up with the right concept, or with the right idea, or with the right realization that they are fearing they will never do. And so they kind of act in a sort of fighty. It's like they fight in a fighty way with the other person. And that's something that doesn't really, the ENFP doesn't appreciate that much. But I think that's like, maybe in my opinion, I'm an ENFP, so maybe in my opinion it looks like that, but there's something doing something different. So please, ENTPs, leave your comments and explain me better what is your way, the way how your process works between NE and TI. But also what happens is, like, they can make their best decisions when they sort through NE and TI, and I guess that can take a long while because these two functions, as I said, they are very open, wide open, and they can just keep gathering information. So, but at some point they will make a decision of something, they will, fine. But just as I explained in another video, all of the types have this kind of problem with the auxiliary. So it's not that we're all using auxiliary. No, that's like when we learn, we make the best decisions using the auxiliary. So that's TI for ENTPs. But if we don't, then we go directly towards our third function, which is FE for ENTPs. And that would mean that they would ignore the kind of reasoning they have to do, all of the reasoning that they have to do in order to make the best decision, and they will go immediately towards FE, which makes them more people pleasers. And kind of ignore what their logic is saying. And remember, if your second function, the auxiliary, is whatever function it is, that's what you need to be paying attention. If you ignore it, if you're a thinker and you're ignoring your logic, that your logic process is kind of, it's a spot on. That's why it's your second function. So you should be paying attention to it. And you go and you binge on the third function, which is FE. Then you're going to ignore big time what your needs are. And then you're going to kind of start pleasing others while you are, well, that is detrimental to your own health and to your own well-being. And I think a lot of ENTPs can fall into that without noticing until they realize that they have to rely often on TI. And the last function, SI, that's just, I noticed that we are like just the same in the first and the last function. With ENFPs and ENTPs, we're very alike because we are very self-critical. We want to, they as well want to have it all super, it's a perfection. They're seeking for perfection. They want that whatever they start is going to be perfect. And if it's not perfect, they would not even start. And that's something that I can see as ENFPs have in common with them as well. That's our last developed function, and that's the function that we fall into when we are stressed. So that's what ENTPs do as well. I don't have other comments to do here other than I do enjoy a lot having philosophical conversations with ENTPs. And I like ENTPs as like to having deep, meaningful conversations more than INTPs. I guess also because we have our first and our last function, we have like, I can feel for these ENTP in stress when this person is going like very critical and doubting himself and kind of procrastinating just because he doesn't know it's going to be successful. I can recognize myself and I can help this person out. I think we can help each other out. So that's like a very nice dynamic, I guess. And yeah, but still for me, it's a bit difficult to understand and navigate the TI function, introvert thinking, because I am just not good at that, I guess. Anyhow, so that's my thoughts on ENTPs, and see you next time. I'm going to talk about more types in another occasion, and subscribe to my channel. See you soon. Bye.